Welcome to the original Gangsters Patreon members only. This is the second video we're doing about the news out of Montreal related to Jack Simpson. The first part of this was broken by the Journal de Montreal and La Presse about Jack Simpson, longtime Montreal Mafia associate, 82 years old, and is now joining the Hells Angels. And there's a lot of people scratching their head at this. This is very out of the ordinary. But I have some fresh news that I've been able to acquire over the last 24 hours that I want to shed some analytical insight into this decision of Simpson, who is a guy that's very close to Renaud Desjardins, who was Vito Rizzuto's de facto underboss, and who really, it was Desjardins' decision to break away from Vito Rizzuto in the late 2000s and head this insurgence that has sent the Montreal underworld into disarray the last decade and a half. Desjardins came out of prison last year after serving a sentence for murdering his former partner in the insurgents. Deported Bonanno mob boss Sal Montagna. Simpson's the one who actually introduced Montagna and Desjardins, or laid the foundation for that introduction. Simpson had a lot of connections in New York from his drug dealing. Before he met Desjardins, Desjardins was doing a prison sentence for his own narcotics dealing, hooked up with Simpson about 25 years ago, and Simpson, starting in the 2000s, became a driver and a top lieutenant for Desjardins. So here's what I got. This move to put Jack Simpson into the Hells Angels machine in his 80s, it's not going to be a normal ascent. Marty Robert is helping oversee this particular situation, I'm told. And he's not going to have to do the normal hang around prospecting stuff. He's got to do some of it, but not all of it. And he's going to be fast tracked. And this entire decision and the ramifications of the decision are for Desjardins to have a direct link to Hells Angel leadership that you wouldn't be able to have the level of access if you weren't in the club. So putting Jack Simpson into the club, the idea is for a year from now for Simpson to be able to speak for Desjardins at club meetings, at church, directly with guys like Marty Robert and Walter Stadnick in Nurgat in Hamilton, the national president of the Hells Angels in Canada. And this is really a move to get Desjardins a patch in the Hells Angels by proxy. And Simpson, once he's in, the idea is to put him very close to national leadership in Canada. And we can kind of speculate what that means for Desjardins. Reporting out of Canada this week was that he's semi-retired and that he's not as active, but he's underneath the Hells Angels banner and is being protected by the Hells Angels in the war that's been going on now for quite a bit. So to me, and I have a little bit of sourcing on this, but I'm sure I'll get more as the time goes on, Desjardins is tapping back in. I got two guys telling me this in the sense that he's semi-retired right now, and I think the semi part was kind of self-imposed, and because he wants to lay low, he's been out for almost 2 years now. But now that he's going to have a little less scrutiny from the Crown, he's going to have Simpson again, into the Hells Angel machine. I'm told that Desjardins is in his 70s, looking to get a little more piece of that Hells Angels pie that's growing more by the day, and is at odds with Desjardins' former residual mob organization. So Simpson is kind of a pawn in this whole thing for Desjardins. That's the gist of this report, and that Simpson is being put there to speak for Desjardins within Hells Angels Nation. Scott Burnstein, original Gangsters, members only Patreon. I'll see you next time.